The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
Hey, what's up, YouTube fam? It's Dupree, aka Darth Hater here. If you guys didn't know, it's the 25th anniversary of the Star Wars Trilogy Special Edition. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably weren't even born yet, or were like really young when this happens. Back in the day, in the 90s, the mid-90s, George Lucas decided to go back before he did the prequels and tinker with and add new features to the original Star Wars trilogy. So Star Wars, before it was A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. It was a huge, massive event. It was a huge event. For those of you guys who remember were there, like, that was my first big Star Wars experience, aside from seeing it on TV. For those of you who haven't, seen it or don't remember, we're gonna look at those old school trailers that came out. I remember going crazy when those trailers came out. But before we do, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and check out my last video because that greatly helps out my channel. Also, this basically was like the setup. I forgot where I got this. I think where they had this. No, I know where I got this. I don't remember where they had this. This was like a wall posting. I want to say at Blockbuster or Target or somewhere. I want to say this was at Blockbuster, but I bought this at an auction in the early mid 2000s, and I had it ever since. This is like commemorating, the Star Wars Trilogy Special Edition. I think this came out when they were selling the box sets of the VHSs. I know some of you guys remember those big gold or silver box sets of all three of the original movies. If you liked, and wanted that full screen, you got the gold one. If you want a widescreen like me, you got the silver one. I love widescreen, but I still got the gold one. I wish I had it with me right now. It's all in storage. And then I also have the original edits of the Star Wars trilogy before he went back and tinkered with it. The ones with the interviews with Leonard Maltin at the beginning. So maybe we'll go back and do a reaction or review of those, because I haven't seen those in years, since I used to watch those VHS tapes. Enough for me blabbering. Let's get through with this reaction and everything. I haven't seen these trailers in so long. It got you so hyped because that's when Star Wars was kind of, I don't want to say dead, but this was the mid-90s, early mid-90s. Nobody was really talking about Star Wars. Like I said, there was a little bit of words of Lucas going back and making these and actually filming the prequels. So this was like the hype right before the big hype of the Phantom Menace. Let's get through this. This one is all three of the original trailers, so we'll get through it. Don't mind me if I stop every now and then at different points, because we're gonna have to talk about this. Anyway, let's go. 20th Century Fox, old school Lucasfilm. I love this. The hype.
Now, for its 20th anniversary, the adventure of a lifetime returns to the big screen. In a way you've never
New
seen
shots.
There'll be no one to stop us this time.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
with newly enhanced visual effects.
I remember people were so hyped up about it because it's like, it reminded you why you love Star Wars. Old school, the first CGI Jabba the Hutt when he looked terrible.
This January,
We're so spoiled now.
Lucas and 20th Century Fox invite you to welcome back
Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan Kenobi, C-3PO, R2-D2. Oh my god. I watched this so many dang times, this trailer when it came out. I remember downloading it and which took a full day
January 31st,
back in the
Star
day.
Wars. On February 21st, The Empire Strikes Back. Then on March 7th, Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
Move closer for a whole new generation.
It was such a huge
that get to
thing.
experience it on the big screen. And for everyone else to experience it again.
That boy is our last hope.
No,
There is another.
The Star
Wars
Wars
Trilogy, Special Edition.
See
See you again
for
for the first time.
The Force will be with you, always.
Wow, man. All right, I'm gonna pause it right there. We got to talk about that. The hype, just the hype. I remember downloading that so many times and watching that over and over and over. Whoever did the editing for that trailer is a genius. He touched on so many different feels. Like I said before, it just reminded you what you loved about the original Star Wars movie. It reminded you of being a kid and then seeing those movies in summer of like 77. Like that brought it all back home. It's just so funny, like, to think about where we've come from, like, so far from like the mid 90s to right now, where we're so spoiled with Star Wars. Back then there was like nothing. Like, you had to hunt for anything. You had to hunt for comic books, action figures, everything. And for this, which was a huge campaign, you still really had to hunt for stuff. Back in the day, and I want to say elementary school, elementary school, I had my dad, when this was happening, take me to Taco Bell just so I could get the freaking Star Wars taco toys. It was a promotion where you peel this thing off of a drink and you're supposed to put it up to your forehead and to be like, feel the Force or whatever, and then you'd win $1 million. It was so huge. In 96 and 97, that was a ramp up. We had Shadows of the Empire for Nintendo 64, and that was the start of everything. And in 97, we had this. 96, 97 was a really, really good year. Both of those years for Star Wars. I was already like a big fan, but that just ramped me up. And little did I know, a few years later, we'd be so spoiled. So spoiled. But anyway, let's go watch Empire Strikes Back. My favorite.
On
February 21st. Yep.
20th Century Fox and George Lucas present the next chapter in the Star Wars Trilogy Special Edition. Empire Strikes Back.
Skywalker will join us or die.
I remember like watching this in the theater the first time, and that like
Epic adventure.
reaffirmed the fact that this was my favorite Star Wars movie.
Into an asteroid field.
It'd be crazy to follow us, wouldn't it?
Where destinies are foretold.
You will be tempted by the dark side.
Fears are awakened. And secrets are at long last revealed.
Never told you what happened to your father. And then March 7th.
On March 7th,
Oh
the
man.
final chapter of the Star Wars Trilogy.
Final.
Return of the Jedi. Let's go. A time to take cover for the final battle.
Oh man.
The Empire Strikes
They don't
Back
make trailers like this anymore, man. This was
and Return of the Jedi. Both with newly enhanced visual
oh
effects,
man.
THX and digital sound. And a few new surprises.
When you first got to see the Wampa, yep. Oh man.
Join me.
It's your destiny.
The Star Wars Trilogy Special Edition. You haven't seen anything till you've seen everything.
Oh man. Alright, I'm gonna stop it right there. Like I said, watching that movie and that trailer for me reaffirmed the fact that Empire Strikes Back was my favorite movie. Is always will be my favorite movie. and also Darth Vader being my favorite character. This was my first time seeing all of these movies in the theater, because obviously I didn't grow up in the 80s like my brothers did, so they got to experience all this and everything as it was happening. Yeah, I grew up like way later. This was my first experience seeing Star Wars in the movie theater, which was crazy. I remember vividly seeing this movie. I remember, thinking like, because one of the changes they made for this, obviously, was they put the Wampa, the snow monster. If you guys didn't know what's called a Wampa, they put the snow monster Wampa in the movie more, because before it was like you kind of vaguely saw it. You saw like a hand, you saw its face, or you saw it, half walking through the caverns and everything. Now you actually see it eating the tauntaun. A lot of people said it was more artistic to not show it, but that creature was kind of like hard to do back in the day. But now it was like, all right, now we're gonna show it, reaffirming the fact that Darth Vader was just the man, like the dude. Like that Empire Strikes Back was his movie. That solidified him as like one of the greatest movie characters, movie villains of all time. And I just remember being a kid and being so scared and in awe of him at the same time. So you can only imagine. That's why, like, years later, I ended up like being like a Vader freak. So, but that just goes to show how good this movie was. They barely touched this movie with the CGI and the changes. There's barely anything Empire Strikes Back that they changed compared to A New Hope and Return of the Jedi, which we're about to get into now.
On March 7th, return in the name of adventure.
I'm Luke Skywalker. Have a really bad
Love this movie so much too.
Return of the Jedi.
I remember the hate everybody was like giving when they put like the lips or the beak on the Sarlacc pit.
20th Century Fox and George Lucas present
The time for our attack has come.
the last chapter of the Star Wars
Last
Trilogy
chapter.
Special Edition.
How could they be jamming us if they don't know if we're coming? It's a trap!
Your fleet is lost, and your friends will not survive.
Don't move.
I love you.
I know.
There is no escape.
Love this.
Return of the Jedi with newly enhanced visual effects.
That ending, and then Jedi rocks, and a few new surprises.
A few new surprises.
Jedi rock, do that rock, chicken my EO, chicken my EO.
Live the magic. Experience the power and feel the force.
Oh man.
Before.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
So be it, Jedi.
On March 7th, the last chapter of the Star Wars Trilogy Special Edition. Return of the Jedi.
I don't know about you guys, but I want to go watch me some Star Wars right now. Some OG original Star Wars Trilogy Special Edition. A New Hope, there was so many changes. Jabba, Han shooting second, I guess. A lot of the, Death Star battle stuff, added scenes to that, which kind of helped, I'd say. Mainly the whole controversial thing is like the Jabba the Hutt thing, with Boba Fett added. And then, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Han shooting second after Greedo and doing that weird glitch thing. And Mos Eisley too. I remember them adding the Rontos, because that wasn't a thing. And a few do-backs. I grew up with the original trilogy. I had the first set of VHSs, so I didn't really mind it too much. It didn't, quote-unquote, kill my childhood like a lot of people would say. And then Empire Strikes Back came out. They didn't really touch it too much, like a few added things, like I said, the Wampa, a couple added shots and a couple little dialogue changes at Cloud City and Bespin. But other than that, nothing much. Return of the Jedi, they did a number on that. They did a number on that movie. with the whole Jedi Rocks thing, changing the song and stuff, and go back and look at the original, like, you know, edit. If you look at the original footage, you know, it hasn't really aged well, especially with some of those puppets like Sice Noodles and everybody. Yeah, but you know, I some days I like it, some days I don't. But you know, I was a kid when this came out, so I was happy for anything new Star Wars. I remember when the figures came out, I had everything, like everything. I was that Star Wars fan. I was that guy. Anyway, guys, this has been my long-winded reaction trip down memory lane with the Star Wars Trilogy Special Edition. Let me know what you guys thought about this. Do you guys remember back in '97 watching these movies, or did you discover them later on? Or tell me, when did you first get on to Star Wars? Like I said, this was kind of my first biggest Star Wars moment. This was my first moment watching Star Wars in the theater. Let me know down below. And as always, if you guys like this video, please hit that like button. If you are not subscribed to your channel, please hit that subscribe button. And also, if you could be so kind as to hit that bell to get notifications from my latest videos, that would be great. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Take care. See you in the next one. May the Force be with you. Bye.